I love my job as a barista more than anything in this world. I have met so many amazing people, and I have been...
Hey, you're pretty cool too.
Ha! Cool. Get... Oh no. Why would you show your face here, you... No one asked for you. You're so complicated. I don't get you. I mean, I didn't think they were that bad. You wait your turn, you... Hey, it's Shay. I draw and stuff. I'm a little sick today.
Oh God.
Also, my hair's a little more colorful than last time. So, I've worked quite a few retail jobs in my lifetime. I've been a hostess. I hated it. I've been a grocer. Hated it. Sandwich artist. Also hated it. And I burned myself. And then I worked retail at Emo Incorporated. I didn't hate it, but the pay kind of sucked. And now I'm a barista. And I hate it. To be fair, it's not the job I hate. In fact, I love the job more than any job I've ever held before. However, what makes me hate the barista experience is the custies. Custies are customers. I've picked this and a lot of other lingo up from my fellow barista Trinity. I'm also not saying I hate all custies. I love and adore most of my regulars. They brighten up my day and make working there a blast. But these entitled boys are some... I could go on for days about these rude customers. Oh no, that's it. That's all I needed to say. I could go on, and I will go on. Let's go. I think first I should start by telling you a pretty mild one. I'm going to tell you about Picky Pike. Obviously not his real name, but it suits him a lot more than whatever his real name is. This man used to come in regularly and would ask for a medium roast coffee. And he would ask how fresh the batch is. The first few times I was on the same position that brewed the coffee, so I had an answer. And if I didn't, I would just call my manager over and assume they had an answer. Those times were not the times I had an issue with. My problem came when I was much more experienced and I knew my way around and didn't need to ask my manager for things to deal with the custies. So Picky Pike comes in, and on this particular day I had just clocked in. I didn't know when the coffee was brewed. So of course he asked, and I let him know that I didn't know, but I would go ask my coworkers, even though if it were, the light would be blinking. This light I'm talking about is a light on the bottom right of our machines, and it stays lit if it's fresh, and it blinks when it's not fresh. I get it, you don't want to trust it, but cool, I don't want to have to make a whole new batch if I don't have to. I don't want to waste product. Light aside, I still offer to check around. He scoffs a bit at this, but I brush it off. When I ask around, nobody knows. I explain the light to him and add that if he wants, I would brew a new batch. I feel like that went over his head, and all he heard was me saying that I didn't know because Picky Pike crosses his arms and in a very condescending voice goes, "Wow, isn't that just amazing? You never know when it's brewed, blah, blah, blah." I kind of zone him out because I've swallowed his attitude enough already, and I was being super nice by offering him a fresh batch even though it was already fresh, presumably. So I just walk in the back and get the manager, and I just wait until he's done and out. I haven't seen Picky Pike since, and I am very glad. I know, very anticlimactic, but that day I did not want to deal with him. I know at worst he was just a little whiny, and I've seen worse, like this next guy. We'll call him Blue B for short, because I don't feel like putting that many bleeps in. So this is during our rush hours of the morning, and this guy comes through and orders a blueberry oatmeal. I assumed we had the blueberries, and he comes up to the window, and I cash him out, and it's all fine and dandy. I find out we're out of blueberries. Aww. So I go to explain, and I get my computer ready to refund him. I tell him that I am so sorry, and that I ran out of blueberries and didn't notice. This isn't uncommon, especially for products we usually have in stock, and protocol is to refund them, so I start apologizing and offering the refund. Like, very nicely, too, but I think this struck a nerve with him for some reason, and he just snapped.
How hard is it to have blueberries?
He started yelling at me about why every time he comes through we never have blueberries, which is not true. We were only scarce that 1 week, so unless he was just coming a lot for blueberry oatmeal that one particular week, I don't know. He's yelling at me while I'm getting his money out for the refund. Bluebee was just going off about blueberries. Blueberries, I was going to refund him for. Like, we were just selling an unnatural amount of berries apparently, and I didn't know. For the most part, this wasn't my fault. The only thing I take accountability for is not checking for the berries, which are usually in stock. But during him being very upset over a fruit and yelling at me, I was apologizing and refunding him. When I thought I was done, I just walked away from the window, but apparently I forgot to hand out a drink, and he was sat there for a minute or two. Boo-hoo. But my manager goes to the window and passes out the drink and handles him. I was livid about this for a few days. I don't hold ridiculous grudges. What are you talking about?
But wait! There's more!
So about a week or two later, after I talked my coworker's ears off about this guy, he comes in the cafe early as hell in the morning. He gets his stupid frappuccino and his stupid oatmeal. This time, I think we magically have his berries, so all is right. Right? Well, duh, wrong. I wouldn't be talking about it. Oh god, never mind. I hand him his drink because I'm on bar, the position that makes the drinks and all. I hand him his grande blended beverage, and he's like, oh, I was supposed to have a venti. Can you just fix it? And I normally would because I love my custies, but once said custy is a... it kind of goes out the window. And also, I had already cleaned the blender, so I would have to make him a whole new one, and I'm not going to give him free product like that. No, definitely not him. So I directed him to the register, and I offered him a refund for the grande, and he would purchase the Vinci for the price it actually is. But of course, he didn't want to do that. I feel like he was just trying to get a free size up or something. Then again, he probably also wasn't. I just don't like him anymore. One of my favorite regulars, Miss A, was there, and she was like, oh, sweetheart, why do you look so angry? And I had to 180 that attitude, and I went right back to the bubbly, high-pitched love ball that I am all at work. And I was like, oh, I'm not. I try really hard not to show any negative emotions at work. However, not yelling at that man took all of my mental focus, apparently. There was only one other time that it took a lot not to yell at a man. However, this showed to be too hard, and I just ended up yelling at him. Okay, so this last guy comes in with a $50 gift card. He orders a coffee and a latte. And pause. My company is known for having higher prices because of how much that actually goes into the products. It is no hidden secret that we are pricey. It's even a fucking meme at this point. But when this man, we'll call him One-Eyed Joe. If you didn't get it, he has one eye. Or one glass eye? I don't know. Because I've known people with glass eyes and they had pupils and all, but it was just white. Anyway, the man had one pupil, but that doesn't matter. One-Eyed Joe saw that his 2 beverages came out to $10. He felt very attacked by this for some reason. I was not the one taking the order, my manager was the one actually, and she just kept trying to explain to One-Eyed Joe that us baristas do not set the prices. She went on to try to explain just why the coffees cost as much as they do, and Joe does not want to listen to this. And at this point, I still don't know what exactly he's saying, but he's starting to get a little louder, so I just start to zone in because I don't appreciate anyone being mean to any of my fellow baristas. Next thing I know, this man is pointing at each of us and telling us that we're Americans, so we shouldn't stand for this. What? Sir, I don't know if you've heard of capitalism. I feel like that's the funniest part of this whole thing. One of my sweet regulars, Mr. B, he had the misfortune of being in the store and was disgusted with him, and he tells him that there's a coffee shop down the road. In retaliation, One-Eyed Joe starts yelling at sweet Mr. B. He really got hurt by that, but also what are we expecting at this point? We get Mr. B's drink out as quickly as possible so he can go on with his day, but before he is out, he and One-Eyed Joe, they exchange a few words. One-Eyed Joe calls Mr. B a bitter old man. The f***ing irony, first of all. Joe yelling at Mr. B just set me off.
I think it's over. Oh! China referee in China now. Mr. Ass, famous sir. There's the ref.
Where is he?
Wait a minute. It's Triple H.
He has no business out here.
The champion in the ring. Set Mr. Ass up.
So I just go, no, Mr. B is not a bitter old man, actually, and you need to quit yelling in my cafe. After that, he kept trying to still argue the prices and tries to guilt trip me by telling me that, oh, I tried to do something nice by getting coffee for a veteran. I'm sorry, you had to do a nice thing. I look at him and I go, we don't make the prices. You need to stop yelling at my customers and my baristas. I know there was so much more yelled back and forth, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but you get the point. He eventually gets his drinks and he leaves. And on his way out the door, I said, have a wonderful day, in the cheeriest voice I could. I hope to God it annoyed him, at the very least. At the time and in the moment, these were horrible. I did not enjoy my job during these moments. But I have a lot more funny and happy stories to compare to these. But still, it's fun to about these. Therapeutic in a way. Speaking of therapeutic, look at this finished drawing. I feel like I made One-Eyed Joe look a little nicer than reality. Really though, this was pretty fun to draw. You want to see more of my art? Maybe watch more videos where I'm in a better mood, or even art pieces not inspired by hate. Check out my Instagram, subscribe, like, do what you gotta do. I'll see you around. Wait, pause the intro, wait! So my really good friend at work, her name is Maddie. She was working drive-thru the other day. I wasn't there, and we were out of blueberries. This man pulls up through the drive-thru, orders a blueberry oatmeal. Maddie tells him we're out, and he proceeds to call them incompetent and all these other really mean names. And I don't know, every single bone in my body is telling me it's Blueby. And that angers me to my core. Like, seriously? Get a life, dude. Okay, that's all. You can go back to the outro now.